Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Kev's Movie Corner. I'm Kev, he is Doug, and we are wrapping up our Star Wars journey this week with episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Doug, I think this IMDb just crapped the bed on this synopsis for this one, kind of like, you know, we've talked about the movie, people think it did as well. The synopsis for this is like 10 words. It says, the surviving resistance faces the First Order once again.
Oh, they summed it up pretty good.
Good. So
yeah, there's not much to say. So yeah.
So we talked about this. This is kind of alluded to. This is one of your least favorite of these movies. It's, I think, one of the least favorite of a lot of people's of these movies, especially the new ones and all of them in general. This is only the second time I've ever watched it, and you said only the second time you've ever watched it after seeing it in the theaters.
Yep.
So, what did you think watching it for a second time after not seeing it for... When did this come out? Hold on. When did this movie come out? This came out in 2019. So it's been 7 years since this came out. What did you think about after not seeing it for 7 years?
Still not good.
Still not good. Okay.
There are a couple aspects of it that I did like. I mean, I thought Chewie had a lot more prominent role. Mm-hmm. I thought his reaction when Leia died was perfect, you know, kind of like when he went all, you know, Kashyyyk Wookiee pissed off when, you know, Han died. This was more of like a mother figure dying, you know, breaking down and stuff. And, you know, C-3PO had, you know, he had a lot more prominent role. I kind of had an issue. They wiped him clean of his complete memory, and R2-D2 just zips it and he's all back. So I don't really know if that's how your memory thing works, you know. So I did like some of that. I get tired of saying, it seems like over the last 3 or 4 movies, all I keep saying is the visual effects are great. And if that's all you've got on a movie, there needs to be a lot more to it.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really like the fact that Hux was a mole. I know he did it just kind of out of spite to Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were hoping maybe they were brothers and it was some kind of civil rivalry or something.
Yeah.
I never did really feel that. Now, is it Babu Frick? The little guy that wipes his memory?
Yep.
He was. I thought he was cute.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like him. And the other little droid, the little green guy. It was kind of weird to have them so prominent, him and C3 and R2 kind of just left out, you know, for the most part. It was weird to see them take the forefront and everything. So there were some aspects, kind of looking through my notes of good stuff here, having trouble. Yeah. I guess I did like seeing Rey in the X-Wing, you know, of Luke's and stuff with his helmet on and stuff. I mean, it raises a lot of questions as to if he could raise it then in The Last Jedi, why didn't he raise it and fly there instead of basically sacrificing his life and doing it that way? But, you know, there's a lot of plot issues with this whole movie. So, yeah, I'm really trying to look through my my stuff, and I don't know. I mean, it seems like it was just, there was no connection. And I realized we went from The Force Awakens, and The Last Jedi was completely different, you know, for a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
This went right back to a Star Wars type of movie that we've all got used to. But it didn't really it didn't flow well from The Last Jedi. In my opinion. I mean, there was it was just a lot of the stuff they did. It's like, okay, well, if you made that jump in The Force Awakens to The Last Jedi, I felt like, okay, if that's the way you're going, then this one should have followed that. But you go back to J.J. Abrams, who directed it, and he went back to more The Force Awakens, and it just those last three films, they just don't really all jive. If you, I don't know. There's just something about it. There's a lot of bad stuff about it, but like I said, some of the good stuff, there just wasn't enough to even make me want to watch it a third time ever. So
yeah, okay,
now you've watched it twice now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know we've agreed on some of these. I'm kind of curious what you if there was things you liked.
I agree. I mean, of course the visual effects are great. I like the like watching Rey climb through the Death Star on whatever planet that is, the water like planet or whatever that is. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. That's a fun scene to watch, and watch her and Kylo fight on that planet is a really fun, a cool scene to watch. Mm-hmm. So that's fun to watch. I did like the scene with Kylo and Han, like, but I didn't like how they did Han Solo, because he looks like he's there, not like he's a ghost figure, like any other, phantom figure or whatever. It just didn't seem right. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but it was almost a repeat of The Force Awakens. I mean, the words were almost identical. I know what I know what I have to do. I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first time he killed him, this time. But when did anyone start being able to come back as a hologram? Which he wasn't a hologram this time. He looked like he was really there.
Yeah.
But that is something that only you would think Jedi or people in the Force can do. So it's like, okay, are we just making it where now anyone can just come back and talk to their son?
Yeah.
I mean, I had an issue. It just felt like it was rehashed from 2 movies ago. And the words were almost identical, except he threw the lightsaber into the ocean or sea, whatever, and instead of killing him. Cool scene as far as, like you said, the water and the fight and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But once again, when did we all of a sudden start getting healing powers?
Yeah.
If that's the thing, why didn't Obi-Wan go heal Qui-Gon Jinn? He just had the lightsaber through the gut, too. And it's like...
The only thing I can come up with from that is that Palpatine is like overly powerful, which we've known for forever, that he's like a super powerful person, and that she's related to him, and that's the only way that she has that kind of power.
But he basically brought her back from dead. She was dead at the end.
Yeah, I don't understand that one either. I don't understand how Kylo Ren, like, how she survives and then he dies. I don't understand why he supposedly vanishes, because Vader doesn't. Like, no. Vader doesn't disappear at the end of Luke burns him.
Exactly, and he had turned good. And Kylo turns good.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand, Palpatine was always promoting with Anakin, I can save Padme, we can bring people, on the brink of death or back from the death. Okay, so you want to go that direction, whether that she could do that because she's a Palpatine. Well, he's a Skywalker.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a big difference between a Sith Lord and, a Jedi. I mean, so
yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, those words you just said right there is what I felt during most of the movie. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I sit there and I was watching it last night, and I just shook my head a few times and talked to myself. I don't understand this. I mean, there's just no continuity.
No, it
at
doesn't
all.
Have a lot of, no, it doesn't have a lot of.
I mean, you're light. You're. I don't know. I interrupted you. You were saying some stuff.
It seems like a lot of it is put together to make it get to where they want it to be, is what it seems like. It seemed like they had an end goal and they just did what they needed to get to the end goal. So whatever they had to do to make it get there is what they did. So it doesn't really matter how it got there. It's just what we had. This is what we have to do to get it there, and that's what we do. That's what we're going to do.
maybe that explains just how it seems so choppy and just no continuity, and it just didn't. A lot of people did like Last Jedi, and if that's the case, they probably were very disappointed in this one because I have to admit, Force Awakens is one of my more favorite ones.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
when I knew Abrams was coming back, I was pretty excited after what we saw at the Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, was I disappointed. I mean, just really disappointed. I mean, it was just a lot of fanfare. I mean, you could tell they were trying to wrap it up. This was it for the original characters of Luke, Leia, Han, all this and that, and everything. But it was just, I just kind of felt like, I mean, poor Rose, I
Again.
destroyed her in the last movie, and they kind of just took her out of this movie at all. I mean, she had very little part in it, and I think that's a disservice to her because, like I said, maybe she's a great actress, but give her some better lines and stuff. And then they just kind of introduced new characters, like Finn meets the lady with the space horses, and all of a sudden they had this exact same backstory, and all of a sudden there's a whole new love story. I mean, Finn's been in love, or females have loved him several times. And by God, if I hear that man yell Ray one more time, I just wanted to go through the house last night when the movie was over and just start yelling my wife's name. And because, I mean, it was just give the guy some lines. He can do more than just yell Ray.
Yeah.
And it was just like, she can't hear you.
Yeah.
You're just yelling it to be yelling it. So I don't know. Then that's kind of started from, even from The Force Awakens. But it's like, I guess it's fitting to just continue it. But God, there was just a lot of light skids. I put down light speed skipping. Okay, the concept's fine, but you don't end up in the middle of buildings and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, the concept looked cool. Like
it did.
It looked cool, but the idea of it doesn't seem practical, especially when like in the original like trilogy when like they're talking, like I remember Han talking about it like, no, you don't do this, you don't jump to light speed until you figure it out, or otherwise you'll end up in the middle of the planet and dead. Like it doesn't, that's not how it works. So like the idea that you can just like jump to light speed then jump out of it and know practically where you're at doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't really fall into their own like concept of how it works in my thought process. So
no, me neither. I mean, there's Kylo Ren. Okay, he can't decide if he wants to have a helmet or not. He's like a child that just can't decide what he wants.
I mean, he kind of is because he can't decide what he wants to do. Like he keeps going back and forth on everything. But
and please explain to me, because no one does and the movie doesn't. How does Palpatine even survive? I mean, once again.
I mean, that's kind of the same question that I had about Darth Maul. Is like, you cut the dude in half. How did he survive? Like, I mean, this is that Sith power of being able, I guess, to clone and just survive anything. I guess is you can.
That bothers me, because it's like, okay, I understand he's like at the end, I am every Sith Lord, they're all inside of me type thing. Okay, well, she's got all the Jedis inside of her, so that's great. But this whole Sith dagger, it reminded me. Have you ever seen the movie Goonies?
I'm not sure. I feel like I have at some point, but I'm not truthfully sure, to tell you the truth. I'm not sure.
Well, you would probably, at the beginning, there's a scene that you'd never forget called the Truffle Shuffle.
Yeah, I've heard of that, and I've seen that.
Okay, it's great. Long story short, towards the beginning, they find this stone that basically has 2 or 3 holes in it, and you got to be in the right spot to find the right mountain and all this crap.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you guys just took a page out of that with this, that you've got to hold this dagger in the exact right spot of a destroyed Death Star in the middle of an ocean that's got 500-foot waves that's going to destroy this thing, and it just happens to stay exactly where it needs to be. I mean, once again, you get this Sith dagger.
Yeah.
And what's up with Luke throwing his lightsaber away, but he hides away Leia's? Why keep hers and not his? I mean, once again, makes absolutely no sense. It's just, I don't know. And if Leia and Luke actually knew about her heritage, she just had some drunk parents or something like that, that was trying to hide her or something. But if they knew her heritage type thing, were they just too scared to tell her? I mean,
that's the only thing I'd come up. That's the only guess. What I would have is that they're afraid that if they told her that she would turn to the dark side, like they're so afraid that everybody else will. I mean, he in The Last Jedi, he almost killed his nephew. So I don't freaking know.
Well, I mean, Luke doesn't want to train her, but Leia trains her.
Yeah. So
is it just the difference in brother and sister saying, okay, well, I know she'll use it for good, where Luke's like, I can't take that chance again.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
I was really hoping you would have some explanations to these when I was sitting there last night saying, I don't understand.
I don't have a clue, man. I don't have a clue. I don't know, man. I also don't understand why did it, Leia died like several minutes, like what, 30 minutes before the end of the movie? And why didn't she disappear when she died? Why did she stay there until Kylo died and then she disappeared at the same time he did? Like, why do you just choose when you disappear when you die? Like, what? I thought you disappeared as soon as you died. Like,
well, we've talked about that. Some Jedi disappear, some don't. I mean, but she was a Jedi. Luke trained her.
Yeah.
In between all that. So, and then if they ever do another Star Wars movie, I hope they don't have some kind of laser destroying planet thing. Because, okay, we got away from Death Stars. Now every freaking ship
they
has
all have
one.
Yeah, they all have the laser. Yeah.
Can you guys not come up with something? Okay, here. You said last week you thought you knew my biggest issue. I mean, I had checked out when I saw it in the theater a long time before this happened. But when this happened, this is the spot of the movie. I swear I looked over at my daughter and thought, I'm done. You said you thought you had a feeling what part it was last week.
Well, so I think it's too... I didn't remember something happening, so I have a different one now. Okay, I'll tell you what I originally thought, and then I'll tell you what I think it is now. So what I originally thought was Palpatine, like when we realized Palpatine was back. That's what I thought last week. Now, watching it again, I didn't remember this happening. After watching it again this week, I have a feeling that what you originally thought was I'm done is when I thought Chewie died. When everybody thought they killed Chewie because she lightning bolted the thing and the transport blew up and everybody thought she killed Chewie.
Well, that was a big part of it.
Yeah.
But so, like I said, I checked out before. That was one part that made me check out about 50% until he was alive. Okay. They redeemed themselves. But when they're landing on the outside of a spaceship.
Oh, and they're just running around.
Freaking horses running on the wing of a Star Destroyer. I'm done. I was done. You tried to kill off everyone that I ever grew up admiring in movies. You didn't kill Chewie. You were just messing with us old men with weak hearts. But then when you get space horses on the outside, and so much fighting went on I understand they're in their atmosphere. They're not in space.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not like Leia in the last movie who just miraculously is flying through space. But you're still on a freaking spaceship.
Yeah.
And, the acting was so bad. And I mean, like I've said many times, I don't watch a Star Wars movie for the acting or the some of the other stuff. It's the visual stuff. It's the everything else. But by God, at the end when they all survived, they're all hugging, and then on the spaceship, and God, yeah, Chewie pissed me off, and they redeemed themselves. But the horses, to this day, I laugh with Ashlyn, my daughter. I'm like, yeah, watch out. There's space horses flying, or running on the... I'm done. Honestly, I won't go see the Mandalorian Grogu movie because I'm just afraid they may have flamingos or something fighting them. I don't know what they're going to do. So,
I don't.
So, you were right. Palpatine, I kind of sensed there had to be something or someone behind Snork. Snoke.
Mm-hmm.
Snoke. That wasn't too much. The lineages, okay. I mean, the rise of Skywalker. So really, it's really the rise of Kylo then, because he's a Skywalker, isn't it? I mean, the rise of Skywalker, isn't it really more than about he's the one that rose up and changed?
Yeah.
I mean, she's still a Palpatine. I don't care what she said her name was at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, she's looking at Luke and Leia. You know, she's not some incestual child that they had, you know. I mean, she's calling herself Skywalker, but she's still a Palpatine. So really, the rise of Skywalker is Kylo Ren, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know how they came up with that title. I don't really understand it.
Might have seated their pants, kind of like
Yeah.
postscript.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that. I don't really know.
Well, and Luke coming back, you know, they did a lot of fanfare. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
they
did.
really did. They knew this was it for all of them. So there was some aspects, but once again, he looked like a hologram,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and stuff, how it should have been properly done and everything. But yeah, there was just, God, it was so bad. It was so bad. It was a long 2.5 hours or
Yeah.
whatever it was. I mean, that is. I told Amanda when I got done last night, we can cancel Disney because I said they're done. They're if this is type of movies they're going to put out, I'm not even going to give them money. So
Yeah.
I told you I wasn't going to hardly have anything to say. I put down a few notes and I really looked for, you know, Poe's girlfriend. She looked cute. I wish they would have taken her helmet off. It was like, are you guys just going to tease us that she's got some, you know? And once again, though, the jokes and stuff were a lot of Avenger jokes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big bromance going on between Finn and Poe. And like I said, every woman seems to love Finn. Poe, you know, just, I don't know. I just, you know, and then.
Yeah, we also had the whole thing with Poe, too, where it's like you change his whole, like, you kind of give him a whole new backstory and don't ever explain it, where you make him like a smuggler all of a sudden.
Yeah, a
like,
spice smuggler.
You go from having him be like this pilot, like extraordinaire great person, to all of a sudden he's like a smuggler. You know, basically they turn him into Han Solo. They turn him into
100%.
like a smuggler, like, you know, bad guy person, but they don't ever explain anything about it. They just like, oh yeah, he used to be a smuggler, and then that's it. They don't ever explain anything. They just are like, oh yeah, you remember when you used to do this, and then they don't ever say anything else about it. That's
yeah, and then I felt like they took a page out of Harry Potter because they fall through the quicksand stuff, and then she's surrounded by this huge looking snake thing.
Yeah.
That she didn't speak Parsec or whatever it is from Harry Potter, but she heals it, and it's like, okay. You guys are just reaching, and you guys are just trying to grab stuff from every other movie.
Yeah.
You know, and then this huge snake goes, oh, okay, thanks for healing me. I'm not going to eat you all. By the way, I feel better. I'm probably still hungry, but I'm not going to eat all of you. So I'll just, you know, here's a way out.
Yeah.
So
that's true. That's true.
I don't know. And then some dancing festival. It's like I felt like we were at Woodstock there for a little while in it. You know, I was just waiting to see Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead pop out or something. So I don't know if he was dead. I think by time this movie came out, he'd already passed away. But either way,
oh yeah, Jerry died in the 90s.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the last remaining member, he could have jumped out or something, but I don't know. We were all over this place, and it. Sometimes some movies have been all over the place, and they can really pull it together at the end, make it all work. This one never did. It never did. It just got worse and worse as it
ended all over the place.
Plus, before we get to our list and everything, it was good to see Lando.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
But where in the world did they come up with 5 million ships behind them? No one comes and saves them on the Salt Planet from the last movie. But then all of a sudden, Lando's there with the Millennium Falcon, and they've got... Where did all these people come from? I mean, it's almost like... What was that movie, The Field of Dreams? If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt with this. It's like, okay, well, they wouldn't come and save you last time. Now they're going to come fight Palpatine. Yeah, well, that seems like a lot more ominous than fighting Kylo Ren. If I'm going to go fight one of them, I would have came during The Last Jedi and fought Kylo Ren. When you told me Palpatine's back, I'd be like, all right, you guys are on your own.
Yeah. Good luck.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, just a lot. I think you summed it up perfect earlier. I think they knew this was the last movie. They had so much they were trying to fit in, and it was just jumbled up garbage, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That's best way I can put it.
it was something. I don't really know. I did, did find a couple interesting things about this. One, of course, Carrie Fisher died before this movie actually was filmed or came out.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, before they started filming this, she went up to the president of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, and said that she wanted to have a larger role in this one because Han had had a bigger role in the first of the new ones. Luke had a bigger role in the second one, and she thought that she should have a bigger. She was supposed to have a bigger role in this movie,
Mm-hmm.
but she died before they actually got to this. Now her daughter, and her husband agreed to let them use old footage, which they used from the episode 7, from the episode 8 from the Last Jedi.
Okay.
That they filmed. So they took the footage that they filmed from the Last Jedi, and from the Force Awakens, and they took the background off of it and then put her in the new, basically in the new scenes, and then
Mm-hmm.
like aged her a little bit, like gave her a little bit of gray hair and stuff, which was that her daughter, who was in this movie, and her husband gave Lucasfilm the rights to do that, or they agreed to do that, and then
Mm-hmm.
put her in this movie basically to have her still be in here. So
I had read that they did some that's how they kind of did it, is they already had some existing footage that they and I mean, to their credit, it looked, I thought it looked good.
Yeah.
I mean, for what parts she had and everything. So yeah, it worked. I mean, it would have been interesting what expanded role she would have had.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not gonna, good God, in this movie, maybe they would have thrown her in an X-wing and had her flying, but who knows? It would have been more just interesting, because she obviously turned into a mother figure, as far as especially for Rey and everything. So it would have been interesting, and maybe that has a lot to do with, I did read that they had to do some rewrites. And maybe that was a lot of it, is we basically have a script here. She passes away. We got to do rewrites. So
That's
maybe
possible.
that was a big part of all that. So
That's possible.
but yeah, I thought it was kind of a fitting ending from that standpoint on how I thought it was very respectful. Let's put it like that, for her passing away before the movie was done. So
It was. I agree. And you said that Babu Frick was cute. He's little, like little
yeah,
yeah. I told you that Jabba the Hutt, it took 6 people to man him, the 2,000 pound puppet or whatever.
Yeah.
It took 7 people to puppeteer Babu Frick, the little dude, because
that's not surprising. He definitely didn't look CGI. I assumed he was a real puppet.
Yeah, he was 9 inches tall, and it took 7 people to puppeteer him. So
they did a good job. Like I said, I can't say a whole lot of great stuff about it, but yeah, and that is, I don't care if the script is great or not. George Lucas and his team always did such a good job of coming up with unique characters. I mean, even their droids and stuff, that is one thing I can compliment them on the last 3 movies. Like I said, other than R2 and C3, BB-8's so good and everything. So they work well,
the world building is wonderful. He does a great job at building worlds. Yes,
it does. Yeah. And I mean, and they go back to Endor a little bit, and it was kind of the Return of the Jedi, kind of a lot similar to it and everything, with the Ewoks kind of, seeing everything still. So, but every movie had a different type of planet. We were underwater at Phantom Menace. You got Hoth, and then you got the Salt World last time, and, so. no one can ever knock their visuals. I mean, and just what they did and their world building, like you just said, is always, and their characters are great. They don't have a lot of depth on a lot of characters, your main ones. The problem overall with all 9 movies is continuity on some of it.
Yeah.
And I, like we talked early on, when you make some of them back in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, and then you're making them 40 years later, it's probably hard to do, So I'll give them a pass there. So, I mean, for overall, though, I mean, they need to be done. I mean, if they're going to do it, continue Star Wars, they need to, as far as a Star Wars type movie, they just need to. And I think Rey is supposedly supposed to come back and do some. That was my understanding. So, and if they want to take it that direction, that's fine. But they need to kind of, as much as I love all of them, they need to go a totally different direction and just kind of forget, say, okay, it was great. It was 40, 50 years of magic. Let's go ahead. Let's do something different now instead of trying to rehash all the same damn cannons that blow up planets and stuff. So.
Yeah, and like you said, I think if you go with Rey and go with a different story, I think that's fine as long as you need to leave the other stuff is old at this point. Like you could go on with Rey and do a different storyline or whatever. That would be fine. You've kind of built her as a different character now, so.
Yeah, but I don't know that you can go with anyone left in the movie because she's still a Palpatine.
That's true.
There's still going to be the heritage there where she can't deny her blood, even though no matter what she calls herself.
That's true.
So, so I personally think they need to just completely
start over.
Yeah. Honestly.
That would work
too. That way if you want to somehow have the Sith come back, have a new Sith Lord. If you want to even do that, I mean, you're going to have good and evil. I mean, that's Star Wars. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's so. But just move on. I mean, just move on. I think there's a lot of good story writers, and they got a new president. Kathleen Kennedy stepped down, so Lucasfilm has a new president. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe he'll have a different take on what direction to take the company. Yeah. It'll be interesting. So I hope Disney's learned from the last 2 or 3 films. I can't say that, but I hope they've learned. Let's, and I think they did because they've taken so long since they, not just. So I hope they're putting together a good script. That's I think we've talked. I love like The Apartment from 1964. Mm-hmm. Give me a good script. I don't. Yeah, there's certain movies I like, special effects and everything, but I don't care. You can have all the special effects you want in the world. A good script makes a movie. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what they need to focus on, and everything else will fall in place. Getting to, obviously you got to get the right people. Just don't check the boxes and make sure, okay, we got to do this. Have the script, find the people that fit the parts, and I think everything else, the nostalgia and everything, people are still going to see a Star Wars movie. I just think they've got everything, kind of cyclical. Well, they've kind of did their full circle. I think they've kind of hit bottom. Mm-hmm. I think it's there to go up, but I think they've got to go in a different direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. Okay, so we have been going through this, and we've kind of gone through the list of where these fall on Rotten Tomatoes. This one, by the way, is last. This is number 11.
Well, they got it right.
51% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I suggested a week or two ago that we do our own lists. So I came up with my 11. You have your 11 in whatever order you came up with them in. So do you want to do 11 down, like 11 to 1, and just like back and forth, like 11, 10? You want to do it that way?
Probably. Okay. Most lists I like to read. I like to start and work up to the the best one.
Okay.
That's how I prefer, but it was your idea.
Let's do it that way then. We'll do 11 and then we'll go down from there. So both of us do 11, then we'll do 10 and 9 and we'll go down that way. Okay. So what was your 11? What was your worst of these movies? What did you say was the worst?
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
Hands down for me.
That's okay. That's not what I put.
Okay.
So this is where we talked about this, because we talked about how we were kind of similar on a lot of these movies and how, our thoughts were kind of similar. But this will be interesting to see where we actually place these when we were going around thinking about them. Because my last place was The Last Jedi.
Okay.
Because there's just something about what they did to Luke in that freaking movie that just irritates the crap out of me. And they're so, I don't know. There's just something about how, I felt that there was more inconsistencies in that movie than there was in this one. And there's just, I don't know. There's something about that one. At least this one, there's something about this one that at least visually it compelled me more than that one, I guess. I don't know what it is, but
I can't argue at all with that. I mean, my bottom three, I could just throw in a jug and pick one out. And honestly, any three of them, the last three I put down all suck, in my opinion.
Okay.
It's just which sucks the worst, but none of them are good, in my opinion. So I completely understand.
Okay.
I'm kind of the opposite in the sense of The Last Jedi had enough with the throne room, had enough different things with the salt planet. Visually, it was just beautiful, as much as I just got done slamming visuals and saying, give me a good script. But like I said, I honestly could have just put these three and drew a shorter straw, and I would have been fine with any of them being. So, yeah, I totally understand.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
My next to last is Attack of the Clones.
I got the same thing there.
Okay, I did not get to be here for that review, but it wouldn't have been much better than this one.
Okay.
God, Anakin was horrible. I mean, that is, honestly, he probably got don't they give out awards for the worst?
Yeah, they're called the Razzies.
Well, I hope he got one because he deserved it. He was horrible. Yeah, absolutely horrible.
Yeah, they give out the Razzies. Those are the the golden raspberries, I think is what they're like.
I didn't know if they did it for acting or if they did it just for a general movie, but either one.
I think it's like the Oscars. I think they have several categories.
Okay, well, he deserved it and the movie deserved it. Yeah. So I hope they swept it that year.
Okay. So. My number 9 was The Rise of Skywalker, and I'm guessing you just flipped. Guessing we just flipped those. So yours was The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Last Jedi.
That makes sense. Okay. So now is where we're gonna. So we basically have the same, for the most part, last three. We just flipped those two. Okay.
Yeah.
So now the question is where are you? What's your number 8 then? Where?
Solo.
Okay. So I have the same one there. So interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So Solo is the same. Okay. So why? Okay. Well, I guess we'll just go down to the next one. I mean, it's again. We've talked about this when we watched it. It's fine. Like it's a fine movie. It's something different. It's okay to just go in and watch. You don't really need to know anything about any Star Wars movie. You can just go in and watch it. It's okay.
Yeah, it was a fine standalone movie. Yeah. Like you said, you didn't have to know a single thing about Star Wars.
Yeah.
To go in and enjoy the movie and stuff. There was just a lot that I don't know. I didn't walk out of it being like, oh yeah, that is a great movie. It was okay. It was an okay movie.
Yeah.
But from the standpoint of putting these 11 together, out of the 11, it's in the bottom half for me.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. So what about my number 7 was The Phantom Menace.
11, 10, 9, 8. Number 6, you mean? Or
7. Because
Solo
was 8.
Mine was Solo, and you put The Phantom Menace there?
No, Solo was 8.
Am I counting wrong?
That's possible because there's 11 of these and we've only done 4.
11, 10, 9, 8. Yes, 7. I'm sorry.
You're
I
good.
can't count today. Mine is the Phantom Menace also.
Okay, so same there as well. Okay.
Yeah. Which, I remember going back when we originally did these, we kind of ranked them. I think I had Phantom about 4 or 5.
And then we just kept putting things above it.
Yeah. So, yeah, don't hold me to that. But I didn't go down too far. But yeah, Phantom was there. And like I said, I think I even told you during the review, I enjoyed it more than what I originally did.
Yeah.
I've came to appreciate it more as I've given it more of a chance. So,
yeah. I agree. I think it's the pod race is a lot of fun to watch. Like a lot of the things are fun to watch, and it's I think it's a pretty good movie. It's just there's other ones that are better. Is all there is to it.
Yeah, a little too much CGI, and I mean, but yeah, like I said, the lightsaber fight at the end with Darth Maul's, it's my favorite one. And give credit to Last Jedi. That throne room fight is probably number 2.
Yeah.
I mean, and so when we were talking about you put Last Jedi last, I had him 9th or whatever. It's a few of those scenes from Last Jedi that made me put it above those other 2. So, yeah.
So what was number 6 then?
I put Return of the Jedi, which might surprise you considering it's an original trilogy
exactly
one.
Where I put it.
Okay. Yeah. When I was making my list, I kind of, I was doing it, and I worked backwards. I started with my favorite, and I got a couple down, and I'm like, well, I got to fit Jedi in here, and then I would think about another movie, and I'm like, they just kept getting pushed down, and I don't know. Like I said, when we reviewed it, the Ewoks were just too childish. There was just a lot of different things, and I don't care how many times I see Leia in that metal bikini, it just couldn't save it. It couldn't put it in the top 5. So I really wanted to, I just couldn't do it.
I want to say, by the way, that I did not talk to you about this beforehand, but we have gotten almost all these exactly the same. So did not talk to you about this. I have not talked to you about any of these besides like going through them beforehand, like over the weeks and just saying like, oh yeah, I'd probably put this here or whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of weird, yeah.
So number 5, I have Revenge of the Sith.
By God, so do I.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. And once again, I appreciated it a lot more.
Yeah.
Second or third, I've seen it a handful of times. But as much as I thought Anakin was horrible in Attack of the Clones, he took some acting lessons. He took the acting lessons. I thought he had, maybe he just plays darker roles a little bit better.
Yeah.
And he wasn't quite as whiny, which is a bonus. But yeah, I just thought overall it was a darker theme. I love dark movies, and stuff like that. So yeah, I thought that was a good place for that to fit in the course of all these.
Yep. So what about 4? Now we're getting into the upper.
I got The Force Awakens.
That's the same thing I got. So.
Well, this is going to work really well if we had completely different picks, but and I'm pretty sure from here on out they're going to be the same. But
probably,
we'll see. Yeah. And like I said, J.J. Abrams did such a good job, and that's why, like I said earlier in the podcast, I was so hopeful for Rise of Skywalker because Abrams is really good. But I don't know how much writing he did, and I'm not because I thought he.
I don't know in the last one. I know he did some in The Force Awakens. I don't know about the last movie.
Exactly. And like I said, we'll give him a little bit of leeway that there was some rewrites and stuff, and I'm sure they were on a hard deadline where it's like, okay, we got to get this done.
Yeah.
One way or the other. So.
Yeah. So 3, I put Rogue One.
Me too.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. I really wanted to put it at 2.
It's hard to put it above those 2 original ones, though.
Yeah, those 2 original. Because, I mean, like we've said so much during this podcast, there's so much nostalgia. Because I got A New Hope at 2.
Yep. And Empire at 1. Yep.
Yeah, and Empire at 1. But, visually, there's so much to like about Rogue One where I could honestly put it up at 2. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. There's too much nostalgia there with the first movie I ever saw Star Wars when I was 3, 4, whatever I would have been. And then Empire is just so perfect, which is crazy because, A New Hope was up for Best Picture.
Yeah.
And Empire wasn't, which to me, is a better movie, I think, overall. I think they expanded the universe so well. But yeah, Rogue One, you could make an argument there with 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. I could see you going either way. And, a lot of people didn't like Rogue One.
I thought it was great, but...
Yeah, but then again, I guess it's the same idea of there was people that really liked The Last Jedi, and I was not one of them.
Yeah.
So... But,
that was very anticlimactic. So
it was.
But because we got basically all but 2 the same, and just flipped those 2 at the end. So
yeah,
at the bottom.
And in all honesty, like I said, I don't have a problem having The Last Jedi last or whatever. I mean, as good as the top 3 are, the last 3 are just as they're so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I could flip 2 and 3. Nothing's above Empire, but those bottom 3, they're horrible. Mm-hmm. They really are. So, but it's been fun.
It has been.
I enjoyed doing it and stuff. Yeah. I mean, brought back a lot of early memories and everything. And
this is the only time I've ever watched all 11 of these in this short a span. So it was interesting to see all of them in like chronological order, that speed, and see the progression of them and everything. So it was fun to watch them all like that. So,
and I'm glad we did it because, like I said, I did find some new respect for a couple of the prequels, Phantom and Sith and stuff, and then everything. So, out of the 11, can you honestly say there is any of them that you don't ever plan on watching again?
The bottom 4.
Okay, you went all the way 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably I don't probably ever plan on watching Solo again.
Okay.
And then I would say Skywalker, The Last Jedi, and Attack of the Clones. I probably won't. I don't know that I'll ever watch any of those again.
I would agree. Yeah. I would agree because I honestly,
truthfully don't know that I'll ever watch The Phantom Menace again. Like,
yeah,
I would say the original ones, Rogue One, and The Force Awakens and Revenge of the Sith would probably be the only ones that I would ever watch again. And
I tried to do something, but I was trying to be more. Since the last thing didn't work as anticlimactic, that didn't work either because that would be pretty well be the same thing. Because I hadn't watched Solo, Jedi, or Last Jedi.
I had never seen Solo until we watched it for this.
Exactly. So those last 4, I had only seen in the theater. So this was the only reason I watched them again was for the podcast, and I don't ever plan on watching them again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, those first, and in all honesty, out of even the original 3, it's New Hope or Empire. I rarely watch Jedi.
I don't remember. I don't know the last time I watched Return of the Jedi. I can't say the last time I watched it. I know I've watched A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back relatively recently, but I don't know the last time I watched Return of the Jedi. So
yeah, I've watched Rogue One a handful of times.
Yeah.
Force Awakens, I've watched a handful of times up until a point. I turn it off. But yeah, no, I totally agree. But like I said, it's been fun, and overall, it is still by far my favorite franchise. Mm-hmm. I have to admit, I do. You and Nikki did Harry Potter, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was good. It was good. I don't know if you ever read the books.
I did not, but I did not. I only watched the movies. But
okay,
I mean,
they really did a good job.
Yeah.
Going, putting that on the film. I'm kind of curious what it's going to be like with HBO. Because my understanding is each season is a book.
Okay.
So instead of having
more space to
expansive,
do it. Yeah. Interesting.
That, unless I misunderstood, but I thought it was going to be like if season 1 is 8 episodes of an hour, that's basically one book. So I hope they don't dull it down, because some of those books, we're not talking, War and Peace. We're not talking 1,000 pages.
No,
So
I mean the
maybe I
Philosopher's
am
Stone. That first one is a small little book.
exactly. So maybe I misunderstood, but it's going to go into a lot more depth. But yeah, that is. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Harry Potter, but it's still a distant second from Star Wars. There's something in my old man heart here that just loves it. So
yeah, I mean Star Wars is great. So
yeah. Well, I do appreciate you having me on, though. It's been fun.
It's been fun. We'll have to do a different movie next time. We'll do a different franchise next time.
Yeah,
we'll have to come up with a different one to do in a couple months.
I don't know. I know you're a James Bond fan, so I don't know. That would be a big.
There's 24 movies of those.
Yeah,
I
that
think.
might be a little too much. I might be completely bald or gray by the time we got done with that one. So
hey, I did the 50, the AFI 50 list or AFI 100 list. So I made it through 100 movies. So I could do 20. That's not difficult for me.
No.
But
yeah, and that But yeah, I'll come back anytime you want. It can be a single movie, or we can pick another series, whatever you want. Just give me a heads up.
Okay, sounds good. Well, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will talk to you. Thanks for coming on, Doug, and I will talk to the rest of you next week.